This meeting of the Attleboro School Building Committee to order at 5:30. Joining us this evening is Jack Jacoby, Superintendent Sawyer, Jason Parento. No?
His book is here, I assume.
Larry Regan, nope. Jackie, Jackie? Jerry Freecut, Jay Allard.
Not here.
Jay. Kate, Principal Campbell, Terry DeSisto, no Scott online. Mr. Stanton, hello Ed. Mark Furtado, Rob Geddes, no Rob. No Steve Withers Jr., Jeremy Guay, okay. Andrew Acosta. Yeah. There you are. And Gail Clark. Okay.
No, Gail.
Okay. So, do we have a quorum?
10 is the magic number.
10, there we go. Very good. All right, also present Mason. Is Corey? Corey's not here, is he? Allison Mullen. Allison. Steve Johnson. No. And Jeanette Kelso, Marianne Williams, thank you. Is Joe Milani and Craig Olson?
Craig.
Very good. All right. So I move to approve the minutes from May 17th.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
That's,
June 21st?
I think it's the June
Oh.
21st one.
you're looking at the draft minutes.
I blame Mason for that. My apologies. I'd like to rescind the motion.
So,
And it's
yes.
okay. I move to approve the minutes from June 21st, 2023.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
We knew what you meant, we just.
Sorry, my apologies. Yes, I'm looking at you. Okay, moving on to the high school project update.
All right. So we'll start with the fields. As you can see, we're kind of moving from the baseball field here, and then we are moving out. You will see our trailers are now gone. We are occupying the L building as our field office currently, and Skanska is sitting in the building, currently the plumbing shop. So the field surfacing is ongoing. You can see that the infield of the baseball field is almost complete. And then we are still putting in these laterals for the irrigation system, and we will continue on these upper fields. Parking lots are ongoing, sidewalks are still going in. Currently, the tennis courts will get another top coat, another binder coat, before they will get kind of their tennis court covering. Fencing is ongoing throughout the site. There's a lot of fence poles up all around the tennis courts and a majority of the fields. Jumping into the bus loop. As you can see, we've been tearing up all the asphalt, and this top portion has been poured, and some of these exterior portions. And this will continue until pretty much the end of next week, and then it should be complete. As I'm sure you guys noticed, the road, Rathburn Willard, is all graded. So the hard grade is going on currently. Next week, we are expecting fine grading to come in with aggregate. And then it'll be binder following that. While we're on this photo, the pour in place surfacing work has commenced at the playground for that. They're putting in some curbing around this smaller area. So the playground will be ready for the start of school.
Good evening.
And then at the Rotary, this work has also been ongoing. We resumed work with putting in some curbing. Some concrete has been poured over the past few days. And then pavers will go down after the final binder course is put down on the road. As far as inside the building, today, right before this meeting, we did our 11th month walkthrough. So we still have some ongoing items, punch list items. We're about 24 punch list items currently. There will be a few more added after today's walkthrough. We're still following some commissioning items, some MEP items. We're having lots of discussions with the subcontractors on how we're gonna remedy all this before school starts. Any questions?
Yes.
Sure.
So first of all, I want to state for the record that we've been joined by Rob Geddes and Jason Parental. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Allison, the solar panels,
Mhm.
and I meant to ask at today's meeting, I was hoping Anjanette might do it again for me, but what's the status with those? What do we need to do to National Grid to get them to hook it up?
So we just got alerted this morning that National Grid and Griffin, they've finalized their connection, well, their contracts with each other. So we have someone coming out to do the startup on the system in the next, hopefully, week.
So it'll be live, you think? Does that mean live?
Hopefully. But yes, we're in the right direction. So the National Grid aspect should be completed. So we just need the startup on the whole system, commission the system, and then it should be up and running so we can turn it over.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
And we've made some progress on the fencing for the contractor's yard for Jason at the maintenance addition.
Correct. So we were released on this fencing that'll be going around here. It's kind of matches some of this wooden fencing throughout the site. It's a little bit different. We had an issue procuring a certain measurement of the board, but it'll look almost identical.
And then the, what I think you call the L building.
Yep, so this is where Consigli is currently living. It's a little tight, but, so Harold Brothers, the plumber, was in here this week, finalizing their backflow connection. We have we're gonna be doing kind of a mini punch list in this building. There's not much to punch out, but, that punch list will be coming out soon. Just some final MEP kind of, there's like a grill that went in this week, some smaller items that just need to be finished up before we can get out of there, hopefully, and turn that over. And then there was a water fountain that was added to this building. So that pricing was approved this week. And that fountain has been submitted for approval, so hopefully we'll get that going. We're hoping to have that all released in time for the start of school, so we can get it in, and Harold Brothers can be done with their contract.
And then the large A that goes in the circle.
Yep. So there's a 10-foot tall Attleboro A that goes in here. We've been getting update photos from the signage subcontractor that it looks really good. It's in paint right now, so we should be getting that within the next 2 weeks. They just have to schedule a crane to come in, a smaller crane, truck crane, to come in and set that. So yeah, that'll look really, really cool when it's up.
And are you on track to finish all of the exterior work that you had anticipated by the beginning of school?
Yep, all the lots will be final paved, all the roads surrounding the school will be final paved. And as far as the fields, they're still on schedule to finish when they will be finished and turned over in the spring.
Right. And then the additional handicap work that we were performing by the child care entrance, that's underway?
Yep, as you can see kind of in this photo, so they tore that sidewalk up, put in some curbing that is behind this, this grass area. So they'll be pouring those sidewalks and putting in some strips and stuff like that. But yeah, so that work is ongoing.
We had the opportunity today to spend a couple hours in the building, meeting with the commissioning agent and going over items that need to be finished. And then we took a walk around the building, and I have to say, Jason, the building still looks new a year later. And I think I think a lot of people participate in that. I mean, the staff, the students, they treat it, as if it's a valuable thing now. And I think that the way that you're taking care of it, I was just very, very impressed.
Thank you.
And just another note, the lawns that had been turned over previously, they were remowed, or they're starting to remow those this week for their final mow. And then we will be turning over another section of lawns in the future to Jason, but you're good with that.
Bob has a question.
If I, just out of curiosity, the two islands in the parking lots that we're looking at right now
Yep.
are currently stone. Is stone going to be the permanent condition? Because I noticed in the longer one, there seemed to be some curb cutting for accessibility access, so I didn't know if those were eventually going to be turned over to grass and partially paved, or?
No, they will stay stone.
Which one, where?
These center islands,
Yep.
yeah.
Is there a reason?
The curb cuts, can you guys hear me?
Oh, hey, Corey.
Oh, there he is.
Hi. The curb cuts in there, that basically acts as a giant drainage system. So that's why the cuts are in there, to collect the water from the parking and then passively drain through the stone.
And
There are
there's-
basins below that, Corey?
No, it's just, they're
It
more
just
like retention area. Like
filters.
it's just a filter, so that rather than doing enclosed drainage, it's just kind of one of the water mitigation things that they do on site. And then part of the reason for stone is you don't have to mow it.
Yeah.
Right, Jason? Yep.
Thank you.
And do we expect the early childhood playground to be finished for the beginning of school, or is that still up in the air?
We're anticipating it being done for the beginning of school. So we're just waiting on some of the final surfacing. Otherwise, it's pretty much good to go. All the equipment is in, the fencing is ready to be put in, so just finishing that up.
The AstroTurf will be done in the next 2 weeks. And we're just working on scheduling the rubber, poured-in-place rubber. They're a little bit difficult to schedule, but we're hoping to have them scheduled. It's only about a 3-4 day install.
Question on the island, the rotary.
Yeah.
The outer granite curbing that's maybe the outer circle there, is that gonna have is it the top of it flush with the finish grade, or is it like a 6-inch reveal, like a traditional curb?
This outer circle is more like cobbles, so it'll deter like cars from driving over it, but if a truck needs to go through the rotary, they can go
Okay.
over that, so it'll be kind
Yeah,
of
it'll be
flush.
flush, but it's just marking with pavement and then cobbles, so that
Okay.
it slows, people aren't gonna wanna fly over it.
Right, so
But it
the tail
allows
end of the truck.
18-wheelers
Trucks
to
and
drive
buses
through.
to go around it.
Yeah.
Delivery trucks, fire engines, they can go up on that
Yeah.
surface.
We have one like that near my house in Foxborough, and I see the trucks going up on that surface all the time. Because they just can't make the other turn, they have to go right up on the inner one to be able to get around the corner.
Anybody else? Allison, are you handling the change log update as well?
Corey will be.
Cory?
Okay, can you guys all hear me okay?
Doing great.
Okay. So starting with GCO 34, so we have 3 changes on GCO 34. All have been reviewed and approved with KBA and Skanska. First one is GCR 219. This is for the added fence enclosure and paving at the maintenance addition. So this cost is $48,906.30. We've proceeded with the majority of the work, and we just recently released the fencing, the cedar fencing enclosure. GCR 229 is for the smoke detector revisions at the science labs. So we were getting some false alarms. You guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Corey, can you just repeat,
Sorry.
for 1 second, just repeat what the number was for GCR 219? 48,906.30, is that the number?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yep. The smoke detector change, GCR 229. So we're changing the smoke detectors to heat detectors to eliminate some false alarms. This total is $7,759.38. And then lastly, the added water fountain at the L building. This is GCR 232. The total cost is $18,505.03.
It's a water fountain.
I don't have the total in front of me, sorry, if someone has that.
75,000, yeah, it's $75,170.71.
Just a quick question. I thought when we first approved the maintenance addition that we had planned on including the fence in that was,
No,
so the fence wasn't.
No, that was added after.
no, there's a, that number also includes the paving for adjacent structures and stuff on the outside of that, and that was added after the fact. As a
So
change.
if I remember right, what we did was we just had an open area out there, and then it was determined that for security purposes, we needed to fence it and pave it so that items that were stored there did not disappear. Correct, Jason?
Correct.
We
Yeah.
did review this, so like, it feels like a long time ago, we've just been talking about the pricing a lot to get it to here.
Yeah, I remember all the.
There were trailers and plows and other things out there that it just made sense that we enclose them.
Absolutely. I'm not questioning the necessity for it. I just thought when we initially discussed it, to Craig's point, it feels like months, if not a year ago now. I thought the initial plan and approval of it included the paving and the
No,
fencing around it.
But
there was a
Anjanette,
second thing for that. Rob.
Anjanette, we also had $48,000 left over in that budget, correct, that we applied to this?
I'm sorry, Jack.
I was saying we had $48,000, I believe, left over in the maintenance addition budget that we applied to this?
From the contingency?
Yeah.
Corey, can you speak to that?
That's
Did we-
correct,
Yeah,
yep.
that's what I thought, yeah.
So we did have the money to do it. It was, we had to move it from one pocket to another.
Got it. Thank you.
Just so I'm clear, is the fence around that's it?
Yeah.
That's 50 grand to put a fence around? What's the size?
And
Oh,
paving.
it's also
Oh,
the paving.
Okay, I was gonna say, that's a lot for a fence. All right, very good.
And there was already some curbing there that had to be taken out as well, right?
In the front, where they have to access in through a gate. And then some additional landscaping along the driveway, along the fence line.
Jason, did you want to comment on the change order 34?
Yeah, I mean, so we still need to have some further internal discussions, just around the financial piece. So I mean, my recommendation to the committee would be that we table this one until August, just because I think there's further conversation.
And does that recommendation apply as well to the contingency transfer?
No, the
No.
contingency is a different,
Okay,
it's funded differently,
understood.
right?
So Mason, if I can, I saw an email from Deb Gould this morning. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, it's just the way the funds are encumbered under specific POs right now, and the way we're gonna have to structure sort of the change orders, the deducts, the credits, and so we'll need to work that out for August.
But if we don't approve the change order, can they go forward with the work? Because I don't want to hold up the work and cost us more money because contractors are leaving the site. So is there,
I mean, ultimately, the way these contracts work is if they're doing work that's not under, a specific change order or not an extension of the contract, they're doing it at their own risk, right? I mean, so that's.
Yeah.
so Corey, are you still with us?
I'm still here, yep.
So if we defer voting on this till the August meeting, are you comfortable with continuing the work?
Proceeding with the work, with the vote to come in August, yeah, we're okay with that.
Okay, then that makes Mason happy, which makes the rest of us happy, right?
Indeed.
And in the end, it makes Deb Gould happy, which is really the most
So really-
important.
We all
That's
know
the
that.
one. You know to ask me
We
about
all know that. All right, so you want to move on to the contingency transfers then?
Okay with all that?
Just a question on the fountain. What type of, what is it?
It's a water fountain, like with a spigot and a water bottle filling station, so it's the two.
So like a bubbler?
It's a bubbler, yeah.
One of those ones that's self-draining so that they don't have to winterize it, and that's why it's so expensive, Andrew.
It's an exterior one mounted on the outside of the outbuilding. So the request is that people using the fields could fill their water
It's
bottles.
similar to the one
When
in the
they're
Drummond
using-
Fields, just
yeah.
a wall-mounted version instead of a pad-mounted version.
So the 18 is for the fountain itself, not for plumbing or water connections?
There
or
is,
anything?
because
All
it's
of
plumbing
that.
that has to happen
Oh,
inside the
okay.
building,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Oh, that makes me feel a little bit better.
And masonry to modify the block and the brick to put it in.
Does Corey speak? Is he still in?
Corey, are you gonna go on to the contingency transfer?
Yep, so we have one contingency transfer, GCT 086. I'm having a hard time pulling it up, sorry. Ally, do you have that in front of you? So the GCT is for asphalt escalation at the tennis courts and the parking lot D. If someone has the number in front of them, that'd be great.
$9,157.
And so this, just to remind everyone, this is coming out of our construction contingency, so it doesn't increase the GMP at all. It's just transferring money from contingency to the subcontractor. And we had set aside in our projections, we had set aside money for this cost. So it's expected, and there'll be more coming with the future paving work.
Is that because the price of asphalt has gone up?
Yeah. There's an escalation
Correct,
cost in
yep,
the
the cost of
contract.
liquid asphalt.
And to point out that they're only charging us for the material cost increase. There's no OH&P on top of that. So it really is direct cost
Correct.
only for the increase in the buying the material.
So you need a motion to approve.
I would entertain a motion to approve the contingency transfer of GCT 086.
Move to approve. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Change log?
And so for the change log, there's 3 new changes that we're gonna talk about. GCR 233, this is for ASI 148, which is for landscape revisions or in and around the tennis courts, changing some of the material from grass to stone dust and asphalt paving. This cost has been submitted and is under review right now. The cost is $16,421.95. We have GCR 234 for sidewalk revisions at Bushy Street. So in order to connect the new sidewalks to the existing sidewalks and maintain handicapped accessibility, there's some changes there, swapping to the other side of the entrance. Again, this has been submitted and pending approval. Submitted cost right now is $26,238.32. And then GCR 235 is for PR 164. This is for the added gate and chain at the tennis court drive that connects to Capron Park. This was a request from the Parks Department. We do not have pricing yet, but the estimated cost is $8,116.28. And then lastly, GCR 236 for PR 163. This is just for an added door closer at B302B, which is a science lab. This, I think, was just a miss on the hardware schedule, and the estimated cost is $1,082.17. Any questions on those?
I have a question. The $8,000 is just for the chain, or is it for the poles to which the chain will be attached? What are we talking about?
Correct, there's two poles on either
Yep.
side of the walkway with a concrete foundation and a chain, as well as a sign mounted to the chain. Again, it's just an estimated cost.
Yeah.
I typically like to be slightly higher than slightly lower, but once we get the actual pricing, we'll be able to better update that. But they're concrete-filled bollards, posts that are mounted into the ground.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
I think that covers,
Is that, so we go to bills and payments?
yeah. And Anjanette's choice.
Anjanette, you ready for bills and payments?
Sure are. So, Ally, can you bring that up? So, for the month of June, we had an invoice for Skanska for $88,990. That brings us out to 88% billed. Castle Booze had invoice for $109,530, and that was $109,530. I'm sorry, there was four, darn it, I didn't write it down, sorry about that.
445.
445 was for the irrigation specialist, and the rest was for their construction administration. Consigli's requisition included $809,655 for contract work. If we scroll down a little bit, there was additional work performed for changes, and overall with the ads and deducts and whatnot, it was $812,084.60 was their total invoice. And then we also had an invoice for $393.50. That was for Briggs, which is the material testing. They're still going to continue to be on site as needed for any kind of compaction, all the concrete that gets poured and whatnot. So we anticipate them being on site at least through the road work and the walkways and whatnot. And then there was another invoice for $15,952.30 for Pro AV, and they were one of the AV sub-consultants that was vetted by Scott Goodrich, who is one of the consultants from KBA. So then we also had 4 subs that had retainages reduced to, I believe they're all down to 0 now. And it was United Steel, who was a Miss Metals sub. Kittredge, which is the kitchen sub, they were reduced down to by $25,000. I think they're down to 0 now, correct, Ally? Yep. Baja, which was the PV, they were the installer of the PV array. We reduced their retainage down to 0 as well. And then Delta Elevator, their retainage was reduced down to 0. So when we look at the overall value of all of the invoices together, the amount certified there was for the work performed, not including these additional retainages. So the total value for all of the invoices together is $1,337,561.17. And we are billed out to 96%. And one of the adjustments that I had made on here was, in Mason and I working on the reconciliation there, you'll see that the owner's contingency, just above the baby blue line right there, it's $1,017,209. That I reallocated to cover some of the overages, the known overages for the FF&E, which was the furniture. So when we bought that out, we knew that we were, I think, 1.6 over what had been budgeted. So we used that to apply to some of the overages there. So you'll see the number for FF&E. It's a negative 534,593 to build at 174%. That's where Mason and I are going to be working to just reconcile everything. So anyway, so overall, we're at 96% complete. And we're still on budget and still on time. Does anybody have any questions?
Entertain a motion to pay the bills.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
All right.
Parting thoughts?
Next meeting.
Next meeting, August 16th, same place, same time.
I will not be here, but probably the first one I've missed in 4 years, but we are going to be out of the country, and I know that it's important that I go on vacation with my wife.
Yes.
Occasionally.
Once a year.
And on that note, I entertain a motion to adjourn at 6 PM.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. We are adjourned at 6 o'clock. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you.